The second semi-finals and the last one for tonight. Just to remind you, tomorrow at 7 p.m. is going to be the grand finals, and you won't want to miss it. We know now that G2 is going to be there tomorrow, and now we have a BO3 that is going to start real soon, opposing Ninja in Pyjamas versus Bonk. Right before that, get into your seat, because now we're going to get someone that you all know. You've seen a lot in all areas of esports in general. We have on-call Oslo that is right here with us. Hey Oslo, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
You're right.
Yeah, doing well, doing well. I was
right.
watching the Valorant game with my son and wife, just watching together.
Okay, cool. So what did you think of it? Did you have a good time?
Yes, it was good. I mean, as always, you prefer to win much more one-sided games. Although, I mean, it was kind of one-sided, but they actually played really well. I was surprised.
Did you have a bit of a fear at some moments?
Yeah, I mean, you always have. When you're watching your team play, it's like you think you're gonna lose all the time. You're never feeling like fully confident.
Oh, you don't trust them.
No, you trust them, but when you're not in game, there's nothing you can do. Your job is done, Okay. Now it's up to them. So you feel a little bit powerless and scared, but it's good. Honestly, this team is smurfing.
Okay.
They don't give a fuck.
So you just mentioned that is not your job anymore. So regarding what is more of your job, you're one of the biggest European organization regarding esports in general, and you seem to be one of the only ones that are actually getting into Valorant at the moment. You were one of the even first since the game launched. So what made you want to do, to build a Valorant team so fast, even before you knew there's going to be a competition and a whole scene?
Oh, well, not number one. You said one of the most successful European organization. Number one, we're the number one organization in the world, period.
Okay.
We are the number one organization in the world, period. If you don't believe the same, you're a big hater, or you're 12.
Okay.
With that said, yeah, I like Valorant. I knew it was going to be a good game, and I trust Riot Games, so of course I'm going to go all in. And if I go all in, then we get the best team in the world.
And that's what you did?
And that's what we did.
Okay.
And I actually heard Demon. I heard Demon before. Demon is a good friend of mine, but Demon, sometimes you speak too much. Let me tell you something, Demon. When the team is watching these North American Valorant tournaments, when our Valorant team is watching these North American teams play, we have a WhatsApp group, okay? And in this WhatsApp group, they're memeing them. They're saying, how fucking bad is TSM? How fucking bad is Sentinels? How bad are they? Okay? So trust me, there's zero chance that North America is ahead of Europe at the moment.
At the moment, you said?
Yeah, huh?
Okay. So would you want to get into like one of those, like show match or something against TSM at the moment? Would you want that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. Yeah, if COVID wouldn't be a thing, we definitely would be doing our best to go there and kick their ass.
Okay, so it's in the plans, I reckon.
It's actually not in the plans, but when COVID is over, then why not? I mean, honestly, I think we have a chance with 150 ping. We have to think about that.
Yeah, I think you should. I think you should get into the works. All right, I have one more question. It's mostly regarding the team still, because we all know you had Mixwell kind of being the first player, not even kind of, just being the first player and being the captain of the team, because he's the one that you've trusted with the whole building a team around him and everything. So could you tell us a bit more about that? Like what was it in Mixwell that you've seen or that you've known and think could be the element that would make something work?
Yeah, I mean, Mixwell, I had him a little bit when, in Counter-Strike, and the guy has always been really good to us, and, it's a person I really appreciate as a person. And then in-game, when I saw he was taking Valorant seriously, I legitimately believe that the best Valorant players will be former Counter-Strike players, because a lot of the principles are very similar. although you can come from Overwatch, you can come from Apex Legends, you can come from a lot of the other shooters and still do fine. The way you aim, the 5v5 tactical aspect is just much closer to Counter-Strike than it is to any other game. For example, in Overwatch and Apex, there's a lot of aim tracking, whereas here, the only thing that gives you proper aim tracking without much without the cursor moving too much is the Odin, right? That's why maybe Sinatra is playing it all the time. So it's just I knew that was going to be I had a belief that was going to be the case, and then the most of the former Counter-Strike players that were washed up, just not good enough at the game, would move into Valorant, and that would be the second best option. The first best option is a former Counter-Strike player that just simply leaves Counter-Strike because he's fed up with it and just wants to change to a different game. You knew he was going to be, or he could be good at Counter-Strike, and as a result, he could be also good in Valorant. So that's why we went all in with Mixwell, and we built around him, and it's proven to be pretty good.
Okay, perfect. All right, I'm going to leave you here. Just one more question. What do you feel about the finals coming tomorrow? Like, are you confident? Is there, like, I asked Pete just the same question. Would you rather see NiP or Bonk going against G2 in the finals tomorrow?
Yeah, I like the little, rivalry we are slowly building with NiP. So it'd be cool, to have them again on a final, because we had a very close game against them, very close BO3 against them the previous time. So yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. Okay. So I'd choose NiP, but I mean, you gotta know about me. I'm a great gamer, and as a result, my elo is very high. So I get to play with a lot of these people, A lot of these people are my friends. You gotta know that about me. A lot of these people, I deal with on a daily basis. We duo queue, as a self-considered Valorant legend. A lot of these guys, I'm close with them. So any team is a good team to play against in the finals. Okay,
because you feel like you're going to win anyway. So might as well, choose any competitor.
Listen. That is a class that when they say karma is a bitch, that is exactly why. We will do our very best, and hopefully we win a third one. How many tournaments have we won? Let me ask my wife. How many tournaments have we won? 3, 4, 3, 2, 4. I don't know how many tournaments we won, but we won a few.
It's your fourth in the English.
No, okay, that'd be good. It'd be good to win a fourth.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Well, hopefully for you it will be the case then. All right. Thank you loads for your time, Oslo, and I'll leave you to going back to your family now. Thank you so much.
Yo, thanks very much. Demon, I love you.
All right, so we're seeing a bit of rivalry here, maybe more between actual casters than players, but that's all right. It's fine. We're going to get right into the last semi-finals at the moment. That is going to be NiP versus Bonk, who are previous NiP players. So here we go.
Gotta love Carlos. Gotta love him. So they're the #1 team in the world. Okay, so Lauren, you're someone that's cast just about all the, I think pretty much every Ignition series in America, right? Do you think that's the case? Okay, I'm putting you under the bus. I'm like throwing you under that bus.
Okay, after the last Ignition series, no. I think he was behind. I think because G2 hasn't had a good enough opponent to push them further, they have plateaued, and they're wonderful.
That's what I was trying to get to, right?
They're a brilliant team.
Stack up.
Correct. G2 are phenomenal. I am never going to say they're not. They have great players. I'd honestly say between Mixwell and AORUS, they have the best players that there is currently available in Europe. Flat out with those two. Do I think they've ever been pushed as hard as the other teams have been? No. I think North America has already had the meta switch away from what worked with what G2's currently running with. You got those star players kind of running really, really rampant. The op meta is still in play. I've not seen a single Breach or Phoenix throughout these later stages. I haven't seen utility being able to shut down these players. Of course, again, Mixwell and AORUS are incredibly good, but so was Subrosa and Wardell, and the Sentinels handedly beat them. Yeah. So I think at the moment, until someone pushes G2 further, I think it does tip to NA just because of the current result. But it's one tournament change. I mean, it's still close. Pound for pound, I'd still pick Europe. I'd just say as a team right now, NA's looking better. I hate myself saying that. That's horrible.
That's what I was saying with Mike. I was like, I kind of hate myself. I don't know. I mean, see, I just wonder, right? Okay, think of it this way, just for the final word in it before we move on to NIP, who is an org out there. If, for example, we were looking at BBL, forget BBL, they're playing as Fnatic. That was G2 versus Fnatic. We just had, Noel Penke say they are playing as Team Liquid, or Fish playing as Team Liquid, and
whomever,
we've got Ents out there, and we've got if we were coming into this tournament with all these names, would we be looking at them differently and saying, the level's high just based on our knowledge of the orgs? I don't know.
I just think that you get more consistent approaches. I mean, I don't know how many of these players are able to commit full time. Like, some of them aren't the big streamers. Some of them don't have that, big background to them. A lot of them are just coming in, right?
From my point of view, we just saw Envious doing very well.
Yes.
As a team, they're no org, but let's face it, they were called twats. It's like it's hard to compare. You're like, if they were still called that, together we are terrific. Are you then suddenly looking at them saying, "Oh, they're envious"? The big blow coming in.
That is true. But I would like to say, under the flag of Envy in their first tournament, the first time they're under Envy, fully committed under that, you get to file it under you. It's a career suddenly. You get a salary, you get a wage, you got to work. First time under that, they took TSM to OT. They'd not done that till that point. I mean, on Haven, which was one of the real strongholds for TSM, it was the first time we've ever seen them look challenged. Now is everyone going, wait, what? Someone's managed a way to get around the ops. Someone's got a really good defensive side against TSM that have been rampant and incredibly talented at it. So again, I think the orgs give them the chance to get better. It gives them that chance to fully focus, where they don't have to still go to work. They don't still have to stream and do, you know what I mean? Like, they could still stream, sure, but it's that 100% dedication, right?
But I mean, in fairness, to what Carlos just said, we're just going to go for the maps picks. It's the pretty standard one, split, even, and are we going to get Bind in there? No, actually, see, this is it, right? A Bind or Ascent is like the best of a bad bunch. I mean, I'm a fan of Bind still, but the team's not so much. But anyway, I forgot what my point was now. The point was what Carlos said about the CS play. Instead of going for a retired guy, someone that's already passed up or not been quite good enough for CSGO, the biggest issue for me is with why we're seeing so many orgs in America is the fact that there are a lot of the CS players. Obviously, you got Finesse in there. You got, and we may even be seeing Nitro now. Who knows? See where he ends up. But there's a lot of not only Overwatch players, but obviously Counter-Strike players, but also the top Overwatch players that were also in and around there, which basically came over to the Overwatch League, now based in America, and suddenly seeing another option for themselves, which is obviously what we've got with the likes of Sentinels, etc.
No, 100%. And honestly, it's taken a lot of these tournaments and a lot of time for them to come together. I think that's the big thing. It's like EU, I don't think has had a stable enough format. I'm going to be honest, and this it isn't the team's faults. It's the orgs, it's the tournaments. They haven't had the structure yet. You look at NA, loads of tournaments, loads, all the way through. It's all been quite similar. It's all run the same way. They get to practice over and over and over. Plenty of money on the line, plenty of viewers. It's hard.
Yeah.
Exactly. EU's not had the same shout at it yet. It's getting there, and tournaments exactly like this build it in the right direction. Org should be looking at that Turkish team and going, okay, maybe we should be picking these guys up. They could look at Bonk and go, oh, they're still in this, right? This is exactly what it needs to be able to get to that plateau where they can keep playing. The teams are good. There's no disputing it, but still, into this matchup, I mean, already must be a little bit bittersweet between these two, right? You got NIP and then once upon a time NIP.
Yeah, this is it. And obviously, we just heard from Pitt there talking about Ziz Yassine as well, his friend that's been grinding it 12 hours a day. And they are, the Swedes are desperate for a win here, and he would like to see them in the final. And, in fairness to Bonkar, obviously, he was originally in the NIP lineup. It's definitely going to be bittersweet for him. Obviously, from Rhyme and Lucas' point of view, they're just going to be looking at I don't know we don't know what happened. I mean, we don't know what internally happened, but clearly they're still skilled players. So the guys in there, they're going to be thinking that should be us. That should be us in that organization, and we're going to show them. I feel this is maybe one of the times that we're going to put it down. Obviously, Bonk, they didn't have as tough as opposition. They only took down 9X. It's a team that has kind of been there and thereabouts. It was a 2-0 for them, whereas NiP, they've been pushed all the way through this tournament so far.
They haven't had clean runs, honestly. And NiP are great. I look at their individuals and it's like, that's some really strong power players. You can't overlook it. They haven't had clean wins. You're right. You know, how many OTs have they had? How many moments? Oh, look at the mini screen.
Little TVs on. There we go.
Wow. I'd like to see them just honestly close it out. Close it the hell out. Let's move on. Let's get to those finals. For NiP, I was really impressed with Ryan before. I think he's incredible to watch, and I always love watching Kriya too. So I want to see what Bonk bring. I haven't seen them in a long time, if I'm honest. I haven't seen some of the kind of grinding tournaments, you know, week in, week out that these guys play in. So I need to catch up a little bit on what Bonk looked like. But you've definitely caught these guys a lot of times. You definitely know them a fair amount.
Yep.
What's their strong suit? Who's the big man? Who's going to be making the big changes, right?
Well, I'm interested to see how Yassine does, actually. Obviously, he's on Jet this time around once again. And also, when after the pistol round sets up, I just see whether there's going to be any immediate rush. I want to get a discussion about Phoenix. Obviously, we've kind of been hitting on off air. It's something that doesn't really get used in Europe much, but NA does. And I want to come to that in a moment as the action kicks off. Fear off starting off nicely here. Rhyme has really impressed me. Looker and Rhyme are a deadly combination, but they are going to get cleared out, and this is going to be a simple one and done. It may even be near flawless. Aaron gets himself a triple in the pistol, and Bonk do start things off hot.
Okay, look. Also needs to calm down on Twitter. All right. Dad's had one too many beers, and he's kicking off on Twitter. He needs to calm down. Calm it down. He's had a bevy. All the NA orgs are lovely, like, oh, would you like a hoodie? Oh, you know, it's really nice. Ocelot, horrible man. That is very funny. It's nice to see personality. That's one thing I love about Europe, though. You get personalities. Give me more artists. Give me this stuff. I love it. But yeah, Bonk, good start. You've got to be hyped up, right? You want to see this. I love the fact that there's a lot of downside to a lot of these like grindy, quote unquote, puggy players. You know, your FPLs, your rank S players, whichever you want to look at it. But my God, do they put hours into these games? They are grinders. And you see certainly one of them. Hours after hours committed, and there you go. Speak the name and it will appear. Already Ryan goes down.
They do, of course, going to be weapons versus pistols, so you kind of expect this one to be a bit of a bash, but they have got a nice 4-stack on the C site, and that's been well read by Bonk. They're sort of backing away from this one, keeping safe, tucked in. Of course, he's not really got any escape there. Of course, he could flash his way in and just distract as long as possible, and that just leaves the one member, the Sage, which I believe is going to be hit on the rotate. Oh, he's been baited to back, hasn't he? That's going to be something from Safe. Safe has done something to just recall them back. They say, no, they're still here. It's going to be a hit. And that's such a nice fake from Bonk. I mean, maybe it's too early to use the fake, I don't know, but it's worked out so well for them.
It's worked perfectly. And you know what? I'm going to spend some time talking about Phoenix once we get a nice opportunity. This is quite a big round, so I'll focus on it for now once the spike goes down. No one there to stop it, of course. I love seeing Phoenix. I've been looking for Phoenixes and Breaches to come through. We could argue whether a Sage is the right agent to switch out for it, but I will always be happy to see a Flash being brought in. It's the one win condition I haven't seen anyone be able to capitalize against people like G2. G2's op play, what Mixwell can bring, is just devastating. Mixwell is so good on the op. I've not seen people flashing him off the angles. The amount of times I see dry peaks against, you know, good oppers, no. You can't do that. We need this utility to come into play. That was a big meta swing over in North America. We need it. So if Bonk's already running that, what? Bounce. I'll be happy. I'll be happy to see it. I don't know, again, but Bonk may not be the ideal to highlight it, but I'll take that. And nice in case I don't try to do a little ninja there at the end, but all good. Nice work from Bonk for alive.
May find is close. That is the only one that found the Spectre in there as well, so that would have been important to catch him out. So, going to be the bonus round. Obviously, only lost the one, so they're going to be keeping hold of all those Spectres. Just simply Safer has to buy himself something. And a good solid start from Bonk, but now NiP have got the weapons. Let's see what they can do.
Yeah, time to get back into it. And I like a lot of the theories that NiP run. I think they're one of those teams, like, longevity-wise, could do really well. They're the teams the way they approach the game I like. However, you got to argue, is the firepower on par with some of the other big teams right now? We're going to find out. Prime, going to meet that out drone. Already camera's been spotted. So for now, this default coming out from the attacking side of Bonk. Just going to take their time across the map, try and draw out some of that utility, which they're doing very well. They've removed a lot away from this defensive side already.
Drawn 3 over to the C site as well. Once again, Safe's going to be the one pushing in. This time, he looks like he's going to flash in, but the problem is that Korea is cut off. So the wall through, Rhymes ready and waiting. Quick peek and damage done. Don't really know what the plan was of that, to maybe draw them out or maybe just try and get that entry. But either way, it has not worked out. And we can see the B play coming through. NiP is ready and waiting. Cut off at the side. Look at there. Oh, quick and dirty on Aaron there. Slice as you like. Gets himself a second. Go for the third peak. Makes it a third. Go for the fourth. Why not? Up tailwind over. Finds his head. And that is Looker just putting Pate to B site and saying no.
2-1 is what we'd expect. This is as we'd like to see. Now we get the buyback. This is the even round. It's a little different, but with Korea gonna reinvest on this, or are you sticking on that? Okay, maybe a plan in mind. He's on 5.8, or is the UI bugged on that? It looks like it might be bugged. I'm kind of trying to work out why he's stuck on this rather than upgrading. Maybe if you can get some longevity out of it, why not? But yeah, a little interesting. Looker gonna bank on the ultimate rather than investing money here. Not a bad plan. It's very nice for Jet. Does give you the option to go for the operator down the line. Good little economy work around in this aggression. Lee, it's gonna pay dividends. Already Bonk has gone down. The follow-up not gonna be there.
Did he go down with an operator? I don't think he did. Just had a phantom there, right? And Yassine has actually managed to clear up the 2 as well. That's a nice little play in the end. The aggression not paying dividends. Don't forget there is still the Sova tucked in. Schubit's fear off that's in on long, but the spike you can see this time is going to work its way over towards the C site. HYP is ready and waiting on the back of C. He's going to be the one that has to try and stop them dead. Gets caught out. Will be able to heal himself up, but the slow orb will split the team, and it buys time for the rotations to come.
Yeah, keep your eyes on the Cypher. See if they try and be proactive or if they play the late lurk. It's a fine balance. Korea going to try and find any sort of place for the Spectre to do damage. The smoke's helping drastically. He might get a freebie. He's going to get more than a freebie. That's 2 for 1. Nice little discount. Probably going to get even more. Just the timing on that. Ziz just about stays alive. And now suddenly, this is not looking so good. Everything was working so well, and now a 2v1. It's gone tricky.
The downside of running that paranoia directly like that is you just aim at the exact spot you were. Most of these players are already trained on the corners. So the second the flash comes in, Aaron, he's going to catch fear off in drone. Easy, back of the head execution style. Bonk, make it 3-1. And NIP's economy is struggling right now.
Yeah, it's a weird spot.
Well,
it's like Korea's on 7k. He can drop out the op, so he's going to invest in Looker this round. But everyone else is on kind of low money. Like, they can get a buy, but it's going to be a bit scuffed here and there. Like, the Bulldog coming out, not great. What's Korea going to run with? He's got enough money, but it's not going to be, as I said, it's not going to be good enough, pound for pound, if you want to look at it that way. It's going to be a little bit broken, but at this point, rinse and repeat, it seems. That kind of C split is what they're eyeing up, and we do have the ults popped, so maybe looking to try and even out something with that here on the attack for Yassine.
Through the dark cover. Paranoia going through, and they're already in on site. How can HYP do? Gets the 1 down with the Bulldog. Makes it work out and gets the slow orb down, and that split them on 2. And meanwhile, Korea gets through the double doors and finds Aaron as well. So this attack has been stunted before it even began, and it forces them all to back away. Oh, sticking that orb too risky is. Yeah, realized it. Just
You don't
back off.
yeah, that no, not for you. Let's see what Safe can achieve with this. Again, maybe my opinion is slightly skewed of some of these utility-based agents. I mean, seeing it on someone like Sinatra does make it look good. Let's see if someone else can make it look good. Flash in. That's a freebie. Safe, nice work towards Rhyme. That's an open site. Look at these rotations off the back of one flash. But 35 seconds, no big step because, Jet's still watching the push-in. Where do they take this?
30 seconds on the clock. There's not too many options. It's got to be A or B, and they've got to move pretty quickly. It does mean that it's likely to be fear off in position. He's got Looker nearby as well to try and back him up. So they're going to be coming from A-Link. Nobody up in heaven, though. but the drone will find them. Looker gets the shot, the opening shot through, and that's going to be the information play as well. Second shot doesn't land from Looker. He missed that one. An important shot to land. That's going to be the information once again. The recon bolt goes out. They try and get the wallbang. He didn't connect that wallbang. That does surprise me. Doesn't matter when Fearoth comes in support, and there's not a lot that Safe can do here. He's just going to get run down by the numbers, and it will be a defuse for NiP. They waited and waited. To be honest, for Bonk, the recon bolts and the owl drone obliterated them. It gave them so much information.
Yeah, huge amounts. Now 3-2, checking in on that scoreboard. Let's have a look at the money scenario here. Should be a buy from both teams, but it might be weak. Yeah, Aaron can't get much, 2.3. I don't know what, again, both the economy really hasn't stabilized. Look at the way the back and forth rounds kind of create this, and even in the round that was won, you've got a diffuse coming in, so of course it's quite, late in the round, so they get the additional money. So this is still a bit of a bloodbath, but a mid-stack coming out from the defensive team, maybe trying to put some pressure down, spin things up a little bit. Let's see what that op does. See if that Omen goes walkabouts.
T site being left completely open as they try and make this push down through the middle to gain ground and maybe catch them off guard here, but this is going to be aggressive, and Safe's strolling into C site and be like, guys, of course the spike's still way back at spawn on as they are looking at default, and I think Safe's a little confused right now walking around on C's site, but now they will have realized it. Now the danger is, and this is almost going back to what G2 did, is the fact that the spike was left and the fact that they've gone aggressive means they actually have that spike covered off right now, but now they realize the dark cover comes in, the wall goes down, they should be able to push on this.
Yeah, but look how many players there are like intertwined with them.
It's just a mess.
This is a horrible. Oh, the flash.
Wow.
It's such a mess, this game. And yes, they've done okay to get out of this, but you're down to 30 seconds. There was so much more danger than there had to have been. If you just had that spike, pick it up. Going to go down on towards C. You do have the Phoenix lurking towards window, so they can kind of keep that area safe, hopefully, or at least be a warning signal if it does go a bit wrong.
Look, it's just going to hold the angle. He's not going to attempt this one. It will be a save as best they can. Ryan will step away as well. Surprised they're not going to group there. I guess they will in a moment. So, 4-2 to Bonk on the attack. This has started off. And I got to be honest, Lauren, I think we're going to be looking at a very, very close game. I'm almost certain there's going to be a best of three. The full 3-game series. I mean, obviously it is a best of 3. 3 maps is what I mean.
Yeah.
We could be going distance.
I feel like these two are just very closely matched in this kind of like, blow for blow sort of back and forth. Also, Zoms just came in with a good reply to Ocelot.
It's brilliant. I've been watching.
We've created a little bit of spice. Oh no, we didn't. Ocelot did this. So honestly,
the Twitter game is strong right now from a Carlos. Let's put it that way.
I mean, the reply from Zoms.
It is. Well, Carlos is replying back to him or what, but
it's juicy right now, guys. If you're not know what we're saying about, go check it out. We got some good flame. We got the EUNA banter already going. I love to see it. And now let's see what Safe can achieve over by C long. Maybe gonna try and walk it up with the owl drone. Didn't get too much of an angle. Luck is not having much of it, but he hasn't been having much luck either. He's been having a couple of rough moments there, as you said. The wall bangs weren't coming in. Nice flash, keeping that op a little bit further away, forcing it off the angle, forcing them back. But the attacking side haven't really commit. They're just holding this default. It looks like potentially the 3-2 split that I was looking at to come through from some of the previous games. You late lurk through B, you pinch towards back A alley. Again, this is something they could go for. It may not be the end goal.
I have the spike. Drop the spike.
Just about as passive as you can be with the Cypher. Wrapping around eventually, Rhyme. We've seen some great holds. Meadows, the main man I see play so well in this position as the Cypher on A site, but the dark cover's going to come in, but that's fine. He's got his traps down. Does he expect that? He's realized there's one behind him. Rhyme's going to get caught off guard here. The Omen hasn't found him either yet, though. Ziz obviously underneath. Won't be able to see him. Sitting in position. Rhyme does find him. That's the power of the traps. Once the trap goes in, the camera goes in, he tags them off, peeks out. Doesn't matter whether he's got dark cover on him. He can manage to see them anyway. And the spike plant's just about gone down. He's bought all the time in the world for his team to be in position for the wraparound.
See what Hip can do on the play back in now. Tries to clear first corner. It's the 50-50s. Lucka, finally the luck comes in. It's a twofer. Korea to close out and the defuse to come in. We're back into it. NIP, this is... And you know what this game turns into when it's so back and forth like this? Economies being garbage. It is going to be so brutal for both these teams if it keeps doing this like back and forth affair. We'll see if they can, you know, start getting that 3 alive sort of, you know, marker. As you can see on the other side, they can get a buy, but they have no bank to build up from. You know, it's like you get left on 200... 600 with a bulldog. It's never where you want to be. Now, luckily for NIP, they can get a good purchase with the op, of course, armor, all that good stuff. And they might have a little bit of a foundation to work on if they go next round. But otherwise, this is going to be one of those affairs where it's just there's not much more to say. These two are just kind of back and forthing it. You know, when you get into post plants, your tactics have worked. They've got you on the site. I like this little piece from Fearoth, trying to get some information towards A long, but already the ult's going to come out. Lucka going to succeed towards C long. Sadly for safe, not getting much that way.
Yeah, he's been peeking it all game long. Finally, in the 8th round, they've decided to deal with him. Shut him down before it even begins. Bunkar, though, has managed to step away, expecting the push, but he won't be coming. While the spike being left once again around window, just to see if they can find one of those opening frags. There's actually some aggression. You can see it on the picture-in-picture there as they're peeking down long, but it's going to get caught easily by Fearoth, who's just tucked in the corner. We'll take Yasin down. It does actually draw the rotate. 3 players over there, but they realized there's nothing coming, and they're quickly on the move.
Yep, on the way around. I don't know where you find success here. Aaron at least towards maybe getting a pick in window, but even off the back of that, you don't have any step towards sight, really. You can isolate Lucka, I guess. It looks like they might just double up somewhere. I'm trying to think of what they do. It looks kind of like they're just going to hold these guns. I don't see anything happening.
Not with 19 seconds to go. No way to get the spike in anymore. So the opening peak seemed to be the one that shut it down. 4-4. And NIP stacking the ultimates as well. As we push on through. Oh, we saw the weapon. Should be able to get it, Kriya. That surprises me. Aaron coming out on top. It was more like one of those things when he's pushing around the corner and he's like, wait. In his mind, he's like, I just saw something. Quick, let me look back. Too late. Reaction's not quick enough. So, NIP, 4 rounds to the good. Economy, not too bad. Meanwhile, they are going to give the operator back across the safe and see if he can go for the peak duel once again.
Safe this time at least has the op, so a bit of a different fight. Interesting to see a Phoenix on an op.
He had it last
really
time.
used to it.
I'm pretty sure he had it last time, yeah. And they
Actually,
just,
I thought he just...
No, I think they had it and they picked it back up and they rescued it. That's why they...
Fair enough.
Away.
That would make more sense.
Ooh, the push.
I don't know if I love that, but I do love this. Defensive-sided aggression. Always happy to see it, and it pays off so often. Whichever way you want to do it as well, you can have a little bit of short pressure with the late swing after long contact. They get the freebie, they back away. You know, they've lost nothing. And look at this readjust. I like that. Switching up to be on short, so they've got so much presence everywhere. So well played.
And that's an operator, if I'm not mistaken, that's going to go for that peak on short. He's just waiting for his moment. Goes for the peak. It's going to be Lucka. He's got the Blade Storm ready to go. And, well, from that range, Safe is going to be the one that comes out on top with the operator peak. Hip sat ready and waiting, tucked in. Dark cover goes on long, so it's short they're going to be looking at. So if Yasin were to go to the peak here, they're ready and waiting. The recon bolt comes in just to make sure there's no one took to the right side. And it gives them the information that if they do burst out, they only want to go left.
So they're trying to peel back towards C here. I'm going to be honest. Neither of these teams look that in charge of this game. You know what I mean? Like, I watch...
It's one of those
used to very
nervous first round type games.
Yeah.
Everyone feeling each other out.
It really does feel that way. Maybe I'm just so used to seeing such confidence coming out from some of these teams, but this has been very muted in that regard. So close on the ultimate, but Ziz now on the play-in. There is still that Cypher back sight. Rhyme normally does well here. Does get one, does go down. Now the site is favorable towards Bonk, but time's ticking. They got to get this spike down. They've done just that, but look at the casualties lost. Down to 2. Fearoth feeling it, and maybe a little too ahead of the others. Disconnected on the retake.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. You know, they're waiting, and the fact is the hit was over the other side, getting Lucarez back up. So they came pushing in. Oh, Ziz just catches it, plays with the dark cover, and hip goes down.
Did they just lose a 2v4?
Yeah, but it wasn't really a 2v4, was it?
Yeah, it's a 2v4. In post-spawn, it's a 2v4. Why are you feeding 2 players at the start like that?
One by one.
You don't lose 2v4s unless you make a mistake in the nicest way. Like, unless, you know, Scream literally doesn't give you a second to respond with like some one taps, which it wasn't the case. They went in 1 by 1. NIP's money is better, but it's not perfect, and this game is too close to be doing that. If you're leading by a large margin, go off, do your thing, I don't care. But don't feed a 2v4 and give them a window, let alone give them the lead.
No aggression this time. There is going to be a little peek from Hip at double doors, and you can see Looker actually at window trying to find anything. He may actually net himself something if Ziz continues to look, but Hip sees him first, and that's going to be the wallbang coming through, catching the edge, and that buys time for Looker to go aggressive. Hip does go down, so it's an answered aggression. Oh, and he sees the Sova with the bow in hand. That was a free kill, but he whiffed it. And that's given him a real problem. Yassine's going to push it down. Kriya goes in. Safe gets around the side, but Looker hops on through the cloudburst and takes him down.
Now what do we do? Spike.
So many.
No man's land. Looker just turreting. God, Rhyme funny. You see, this just feels like I'm watching Deathmatch. I know that sounds like BM and it's not meant to be.
Where you are.
But it's just like so disconnected. Everything just feels weird. Is that just me feeling this right now?
No, because look at the positions they're in. You know,
What is this?
They're like behind each other in front. There's someone going over here. There's a Bonk running straight in with a tripwire. It's just a naked run into the spike plant. It's a really bizarre setup. Now, in credit to NIP, they realize, okay, we can't go through our own base. That's actually enemy territory now. We're going to treat it like the retake from the side. Now, I do worry if they were to go from the other side. They catch Fearoth out. He was the only man that was going to try and tag them in the back. And now, Aaron, it's going to be just role reverse. One in heaven, one in link.
Yeah, a bit weird on the retake here, isn't it? They're just playing safe. Where's the spike planted? It's planted for them too. Yeah, they're in a great spot for this. It's going to be hard to deal with both players unless they land pretty quick shots. They're not leaving much time on this. It's a fake. Shoots once. Laka did find Aaron, but now look at the clock. It's ticking down so much. Fearoth's out of there. Tries to save the op. Not going to be allowed. Nice work from Bonk. Costing them a great deal. Yes, he loses the gun, but the round and the op being removed is pretty nice.
4 great attacking half so far for Bonk. And another bizarre round. Nets, NIP, no favors, and their economy is in the gutter when they really could do with a round. Do they force it? Do they save it? They force it. They go for the Marshals, the Spectres. There is a Phantom in there, but their abilities are going to be very low. Fearoth's going to be trying to go aggressive, and it does look like it's going to be pushing into a stack here.
Revealing area.
See what the information's like. Certainly going to know there's some presence. Swung on the first. Dry peeking when you're a Phoenix feels bad.
Deploying drone.
Now, on the back of that, Fearoth's going to look to see if he finds more info. Nice information found towards short there. That's a big pickup. This is huge. Big info found. What do they do with it, though? Because obviously, you can peel away from this. You can back away, but it's certainly a telling picture to start with.
Do we see aggression? I'm just wondering, NIP, they've been certainly not shy of pushing through. They're going to try and go around the back where the Rhyme decides to keep on pushing into window like they have done the last couple of rounds. Look at just getting in position. So they've got the double stack, make it a triple as the Sage makes his way over. So Hype will be, will be in place. HYPERX and Hype is dangerous. Oh, Hunter's Fury, that's going to catch one underneath. Rhyme, though, will catch Aaron off. That's back over at mid. So it's actually a 3-on-5 now. This attack has been halted by what is basically a partial buy from NIP.
Yeah. The dry peaks certainly give you a little bit of an opportune moment. Ziz and boys were trying to work up short, not working out so well, but what is working out was you've seen on the first. Takes Fearoth down, but now this unleashes Laka to readjust and be a nuisance. Going to reposition towards long, and that just buys time. They're going to have to be constantly aware of this. It will allow time for the Omen to come around and get into a good retake position. So a 3v2, but none of these angles are safe. It looks like they want to push towards the defensive side, and I like that. You might as well try and double up, try and take back some of these angles, and do something with it.
But that gives Rhyme the chance to get in position, in an off-angle position they won't be expecting. Yeah, they're going to catch one off guard. It's going to drop down. He hears the drop. It doesn't matter. His teammate's holding it and sticking the defuse, and Rhyme still comes out and topping the duel anyway. And NiP pick up a solid retake and hold there. And now their economy is back, and well, both of them are kind of forced effectively. This is not going to be a pretty final round of the half.
No, it's not, but this hasn't been a pretty half at all, if I'm honest. I think we've been treated to some very nice Valorant, where, you know, when it looks good, it looks good. You got some flashy plays here and there. But this has been pretty brutal between both teams. A good attack from Bonk. You're right to highlight that, for sure. I want to see if NiP kind of pick up the pace a little bit here. It's dribs and drabs, and luckily for Laka, does have the ability to lean on the ult. Here comes the pop from Phoenix, maybe looking towards a quick look towards C. You might as well try and get in there, pop the flash, and it looks like if there's success here, you're going to go off it. There it is. Safe finds Rhyme, and they're in on the site.
Should be a quick spike plant, but the spike's a long way off still. Yassine will get one down, sees the other, but a Blade Storm comes out from Looker. He gets Ziz and Yassine down and then swips across. Actually got saved in the end by Fearoth. The Ghost is just all he has. And now it makes it a really awkward 3-on-2. Do they rotate over towards A site? They're going to actually push the pressure. They're not expecting them to come from behind. The Aldrome will see them though. That gives them all the information. We should see NiP all swing around and realize there's somebody up behind and one coming in link.
Oh, the spike being where it is. Just holding for now. Fearoth chomping at the bit. Safe. Nice flash. Can he capitalize on it? Yes, he can. Good work from Safe. Down a little low here, but maybe he's still able to get a little bit more done. Both stacking up on the side, but Hip right in amongst the action, and Luck is there to shut it down in the end. NiP going to square things up.
Just as we expected, this is going to be a close one. 6-6 the first half, and I've got a feeling this may be going the distance. I wonder if we're going to see some overtimes for the first time on the stream here. They've had to go through it. They were run through the ringer by Force. Not too surprisingly, NiP in the round of 16. I think they came out on top 15-13 in that game. It was a tough one. That was over on Ascent, but here on Haven, they are being pressured. Pistol round, looks like it's going to be a stack towards the double doors, and that's where Yassine is looking right now. We'll see whether he goes for that early aggression. If he does, it may well be picked up and see if it can net NiP something on the attack here.
Jets and classics. I mean, there's definitely a vibe there. For now, let's see how much info they get. Oh, that's a problem. Forced to fight. Oh yeah, too many. You're right, overwhelmed. There is a double stack towards C, and it could be a triple soon if that Sova actually commits towards it. So they got good info. This push up on A long is going to help, but now they've been met by trouble. Kriya finds Safe, so now they've kind of lost eyes across half of this map.
They haven't made the push through window yet. They're actually waiting for the aggression from the defensive side. So very patient from NiP this time on the attack. Pulling the slow play in. Hitting it from 3 different angles as well. They've gone back and doubled up to recover the spike to bring it across from window. So expecting maybe another backstab there, but it wasn't to come. And now the dark cover covers off B, so they're going to make that push. They're going to go in towards spawn, and that's going to put Ziz in a real problem. Gets the paranoia off just about in time. Works out well, manages to get himself a quick double down, but his teammates unfortunately have been picked off on site, and he leaves it down to a one-on-one.
Now Drone doing all the dirty work, but around the back, Rhyme, too smart, finds Bonkar, and this... I don't know how to split these two. They're so closely matched. It comes down to so many of these scenarios. I don't think I've seen a clean round win.
NiP looking to get that rematch of the finals from the We Play Invitation on the last Ignition series here in Europe. Meanwhile, Bonk with something to prove. And as I was saying, you know, you could, if you were to put a tag like Fnatic alongside Bonk, you'd be looking at this as NiP and Fnatic, and nobody would be thinking, nobody would be blinking an eye. But of course, because it's Bonk, because there's organizations not out there, people may well be belittling these teams, but do not discount them. They are very, very skilled opponents. And it's looking like it's going to be an C-stack once again as they work their way down long, but that dark cover will stop them in the tracks.
I think this is also just one of those weird matchups when you definitely know your opponent pretty well. It turns into quite a bloodied affair. As said, it's not as clean as any of the games we've seen so far because, you know, again, it's one of those very close matchups. Having previous teammates in the other lineups, so at this point, testing things out towards C, but peeling away eventually. So they're going to take their attention elsewhere for now and maybe looking to capitalize on any sort of aggression. It does seem as though the newly appointed defensive side does like to try and get the flank going early, but obviously not this time. They got Bonk posted up towards A long. He'll see enough to alert everyone.
A Marshall at this stage could be deadly. Oh, that was actually a shock dart. I think he just... Oh, no, it was a recon bolt.
Yeah.
Just to pop off. But a Marshall at this stage can be lethal because obviously no armor really stacked in there, so he's forced into it to see what he can get. Safe. Has to back away. This forced buy is very questionable from Bonk, but we'll see whether it works out because it's going to put them in real sticky situation if they were to lose this round, and then we're looking at perhaps a 9th round already.
Let's see, any magic can come out. You're seeing poised. Got to bring that judge to a range where it can really thrive. Time's ticking. Yeah, there goes the wall. They're going to try and put up every defense they have. This retake has been cut off at the knees. They need success and quick. That's going to help. Yassine's just gone big. 2 huge frags. Finally, the support system's there, though. It shuts it down. Lucker and Rhyme combine. And again, this game is still very close, but NiP pipped them to the post.
So with that force, you can see, look at the economy of both teams. It is a mess right now. You're almost back to a semi-forced pistol round between the two, but some of them are going to buy into it. NiP going to pick up a Spectre or 2, but that is it, really. They're kind of debating it. Actually, I think they've just sold them, and is HYP going to go back into it? They're kind of like undecided on what they're doing. So Bonkar's going to have to save out in this one. Unorthodox second round. The only time it ever happens is basically when both teams effectively go down to a one-on-one on that initial pistol, and that's where you can really make it work for yourself. But Rhyme gets a quick camera in. That gives them all the information they need. B is clear.
Yeah, they're going quick on this too. They should keep pressing this issue. No one's been actively playing towards B. They've been like swinging here and there. The aggression on the extremities is fine, but then when you have these scenarios, we're seeing a pistol round basically at this point. What the hell is this? Pistol rounds on full armor.
Problem is that wall against the pistol round. I mean, he's got to go at it with a knife, which is what he's doing. Try and work the wall down because they went so aggressive in the previous round. Now the wall drops, but Korea and Rhyme have already cut off the attack from the left-hand side, which means this is the only funneled entrance. And Yassine gets the 1, and that's all. So NiP make it 9 and 6, and now we're finally going to see a proper rifle round.
Kinda. It's a kinda rifle round. We get it for Bonk. The other team's still going to be, obviously they don't want to mess up the money that they're building, but it does mean you're on Spectres and Bulldogs here. It's like a delayed buy round, basically. Yeah, it's a delayed 3rd round, just because the way the rounds are going. But 9-6 though, NiP are very close to double digits, so no matter which way you want to look at it, it's a lot to overcome now. Even though they are on the buy, it's got to be this round, right?
A little late on the recon bolt there. That gives the information that there was someone there, so they're going to adjust their position. But with 2 dark covers down on the C, it's obviously given the opportunity for the Omen player, which is Korea, to sneak in there. Omen versus Omen on C site, and it's double doors where the action is currently stacking. Double jet play. Kind of the standard setup for NiP, but Bonkar's definitely very different. No Sage, favoring the Phoenix instead. See whether that's going to pay off for them, and it's going to be an NiP stack, and Ziz has got a lot of work to do here. Paranoia goes out, dark cover goes through, and they're looking for The man that boosted, that's what's distracting him here, but instead he should be looking down long. He finally goes for it, gets himself a double, but the damage has been done. Yasin comes in to try and rotate around. The spike has actually been left because the planter was killed, and that's cut NiP off in a really awkward situation, a 2v4 here.
Yeah, and they don't have that much info. They're trying to get it now by using the drone and what have you, but having to commit some of the utility now.
Oh, that's not a clean dark cover. That was a rushed
No,
one.
it's
That's Cliff
not.
Gap.
Careful now.
Yeah, Yasin's already capitalized on that. Bit of a problem.
Spike.
Korea, arguably one of the best there is. He's got to go big here. That's 2. But now another 1v2 he's got to pull off. Spike, not going to go down. Safe says no. Bonk live to fight another day, and yeah, I mean, again, this game is so close between these two. I don't know how to kind of, divide them at this point, but the money's definitely decently positioned for NiP because they didn't rush the purchase before they went and left the favor, at least of the economy, towards the defensive side for one round at that point. So now they can buy back in. So this is kind of the big purchase from them where it's not going to have any of those lacking pieces. No specters, no nothing like that. They should be well founded. So this could be double digits or Bonk's on the comeback.
Good peek down. A-long. Standard stuff. Jet getting a little aggressive at double doors. But default strat. But Hip's going looking. Wants to open something. Hip. Oh, that spike is dangerously close on double doors. But actually the tailwind away. Unusual to see the spike being used as a first peeker there. I was a little concerned by it, but Aaron is going to get walled off.
Yeah, B site. I don't want to say under control, but being controlled. Decent post plants. They have the 2 players backed off at mid, now 3. They're going to leave 2 towards the plant itself, and it's retake time. 3 towards A, 2 towards C on the playback. They're going to have to make their move pretty soon. It looks like now with the blinds coming in, the smoke's being set up, it's going to be retake time for the defensive side.
So they've all backed away. Every single one of them. 5 players, nobody stayed on site. They've backed away from Spike. Of course, they've positioned it for it to try and get the spam through, but I do question that. Hip will get the one down. Here comes the wraparound around the back, but they're ready and waiting for it. Yasin going off. Safe gets himself another, and that defuse is going to continue through. They've still got the Sova in there, but Aaron will catch Fear off, and that will be a defuse. I just feel perhaps you could have maybe left at least just one tucked in the back of B side to cause the distraction.
Maybe. Yeah, it could have helped. Yeah, hindsight 2020 and all, but yeah, you're right. It might have been nice to have a little crossfire in place. It was a little bit light when you get pinched from both sides. However, all said and done, 9-8, the game continues to stay close, and we kind of expected this though, didn't we? We would say on the first half, this is going all the way like this. These two teams are very hard to separate.
It's going to be a safe round for NiP, so just the pistols, which means we're going to see the 5 stack through double doors. Nobody there to stop their progress. So the drone's going to be used to guide the way. Doesn't actually catch the trap there. I think they may well avoid it when they see it. Aaron sees himself. The drone actually got caught out by the belt, so it's going to have to be forced the cage trap out. But now the short eat play is coming in. They're pushing in. They're all going to be pressured, but of course it's going to be all on the man at the back. The Ziz, see what he can do. Should be able to pop out. Hasn't shown himself yet, Ziz. Still tucked in the corner. Still waiting in that corner, Ziz. Now finally realized where he is. He's got Fear off down. Rhyme's going to try and back away. They do get the spike plant in, so it's already been a successful eco in their eyes.
You're probably afraid.
Oh, hello.
Rhyme!
You're dead!
Rhyme! That's pretty nice. Okay, Phoenix popping the ult. Game back on. Flash goes in. Does catch him for a second. That's enough. Lucka goes down. Nice work from Safe. Beautifully handled. Up back in hand. And defuse anytime he feels.
Was down to a 2v1. Luckily, he had run it back with pistols. So NiP's little fast play absolutely netted them a massive amount there. 9-9 the score, but again, Bonk's economy getting a bit of punishment there. They're all going to be on the rifles. This is going the distance.
9-9. Oh. I'm like I still find it weird to see a Phoenix on the op, but I actually kind of like it. I mean, I've been impressed by seeing the Phoenix. As I said, something new. I think the meta is very stuck in the place right now in EU. It's nice to see a little bit of a switch up rather than just like, oh, we're going to pick Raze this time or whatever we're going to go for. This time, though, Luck are going to find safe straight away, and this is going to spur on the hit. Look at that instant pressure up A long. They're going to try and pressure this, but there's two players here on the defensive side quite early, so they're not in a bad spot, ready and waiting.
From the shadows doesn't net anything, but dark covering on the jet in the corner there, so not a lot that the Looker can do up there, but he manages to get the peak. Yassine making it work. Gets a bit of vision, manages to find Fear off. Now they're pushing him from short, but they're still yet to deal with the man in heaven. Instead, they're just going to smoke him off. But the wrap around it, it's slowly coming. And NiP plant down.
Why destroyed?
See whether Cypher can get behind them. Aaron coming in. It's just a bit slow, looking for that back man, but I think they've got to realize he's not there. The wrap through Link is going to be working. He's going to try and tailwind across. Kreus lost track of him right now. He knows he's got two coming his way, but he's going to go for the aim battle. Manages to come out on top versus Aaron. Still got the diffuser, and there's one up in heaven. He's going to drop right in front of Kriya. And Yassine, it's actually that comes out on top. It wasn't the one that dropped in, it was one from behind. And the defuse will come through, and the back and forth merry battle we have with Bonk and NiP continues on and on.
Can we see the scoreboard so we can see the back and forth rounds, please? So it is starting to stabilize, but remember, these are post-plant defuses. So 3 of those rounds have gone as far to say they've been 1v2 clutches. Remember, Safe was doing that. There's been, you know, that almost clutch coming out from Kriya, got the 2, died to the 3rd. These are very close rounds. So the economy is going to be pretty close by. Look at the team that's won, what? How many rounds are in? Was it 4? Their economy is still sitting around like 2k max. So you can see the impact that's happening here. That's why these force buys, they're so tempting. It's hard to back away from it. Ziz blind.
Oh,
this is fully blind, right?
okay.
This is straight through smoke.
Yep, that's just spray.
God damn.
The thing is, you see it so often, basically you just aim effectively at the left or right wall, because generally when there's a smoke down, you tend to stick to a wall edge effectively to give yourself that little guidance, and working out very well for Ziz there, but in the end, Yassine with the Blade Storm, actually going to get caught out by Fear off. Collecting that weapon has netted him a dividend, and now it's bound to a 2-on-2 once again.
Of course it is. Post-plant, 2-on-2. Why wouldn't it be? Oh, hit, run. The wall's not ideal, but it'll give him a second to breathe, but only a second. The HP for NiP is low. The retake, plenty utility here. Safe, use it. Oh, didn't expect that. Nice little swing out from Hip. The steps were loud, the elephant's in the room, and now the 1v2. This time, going to be tough for Bonkar. Going to find one. Does he find the second? He's got to be quick on this, though. Doesn't have a lot of time to mess with that. Done for. He's trying to get it to halfway. He's doing everything he can. He soaked the hit. That's so smart. He got that could be the sickest thing. Is he got this? That was so well played. He soaked the last hit. Took the fight afterwards. Bonkar. Chef's kiss.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. To take the aim battle, knowing damn well you've got to take one of those Hunter's Fury to the face, knowing you're going to be low.
You don't have time otherwise.
Yeah, that was the only way he could have done it. Oh my word, Bonkar.
That was so
Brilliant.
good. He had to get it to halfway. Like, how many of these diffusers have happened? What is this game?
How many one-on-ones have happened? I mean, both economies are done, but Bonkar, they've won the last 5 back-to-back. The fact is, while they don't have a great deal, they are picking the rounds up. This time they're going to go aggressive, though, and push through mid and see if they can find anything. Kriya was the one that was going to look for a little peek there, and it does took themselves. So Safe's going to get tucked in the corner, and that may catch them off guard, Gear, as NiP decide to push it. They're actually going to check the corner.
Yes, Safe being there. Traded out, though, eventually. And maybe this time we don't see the plant. I don't know. Look at that weird fight over on A short. Just look on the minimap. Right now, lucky to find Yassine. Kind of means maybe getting that plant a little bit more likely.
Revealing area.
I just don't know when this one's going to stop. If this doesn't go through 3 maps, I'll be very, very surprised. But at the moment, Bonkar are the ones with the advantage on the defensive side, but it's NiP making the push. A little shrouded step doesn't really give them a great deal. Bonk still being a nuisance in the backside, and he gets a quick double there with the spike carrier going down. It leaves it into a 3v1, and no ulti, so no Blade Storm for Looker here. I gotta feel that maybe, just maybe, we're looking at the first map point, and I think for the first time in a long time, a secure economy for Bonk.
We'll see. We'll keep eyes on this. I mean, look, if anyone plays with my main man, Koa Ted Hansen, you're already a winner on my book, which is in the old Paladins team. Koa was my IGL. Bonk has been on a team with him. They're already incredible. They've got the perfect synergy. But it does get them 12 rounds. I mean, this has been one of the weirdest games I've seen, if I'm completely honest. I think everyone can agree it's definitely like a little bit strange. But some of the individual plays, those like clutches coming out, this is a grudge match between these two. Like, there's so many opportunities to clutch out, and it does come down to those post-plant situations more often than not. And for Bonka, this is a huge win for them. Or for Bonk. Not Bonka. But also for Bonka.
Here we go then. Map point for Bonk. Could they take the surprise first round? NiP, obviously, we're looking at this tournament almost certainly with the finals in mind against G2, but they have to get past this hurdle of a former teammate, a former NiP man, and they are walking straight in. That's a good paranoia of Ziz. He's going to tuck himself in the corner. He responds with a paranoia of his own. He's still not been dealt with. Tries to shrouded step away from it. He gets out the corner. Tries to find himself information, but all he found was a quick tailwind away. But the spray works out, and Looker gets gunned down. It's answered by Fearov. Now the spike plant coming in. It's going to be 4 before retake.
Who'd have thunk it? Post plant. Yassine finds hip. It's looking good for Bonk. All these trades are going effective for them, and now NiP down to just the Sova. Where is it? Already on the site. Fearoth there. Creeping. Oh, the cage. Tempting. That's one. Does he spot the second, though, Lee? This is going to be tough.
Got to tuck around the side. Fearoth with a massive 4K. When it counts on map point. Oh, my God. We keep on going.
The goddamn snap. From, like, as soon as the wire was stripped, I was like, damn, that's how it ends? Nah. Bangs the snap. Look at the economy! Bonker skint! This could go OT now.
This almost certainly is going to go overtime, I think. I'm just feeling it. I'm feeling it. I think this round's going to be a job done, but I think, yeah, don't throw any more drinks on that keyboard.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want you to try and push another keyboard sponsor.
Leave me alone.
Yeah, you can't tell. Yassine just trying to test the cage trap there to try and bait something out. Paranoia goes through, but he gets a quick cloud burst back on top. One past. As Short has been cleared out with safe down. But Yassine looking to try and go for the peak here. Little Jiggle, he's going to find it. That's the spike as well. Trying to quickly tailwinds away, and that's keeping NiP dancing. They don't really know how to deal with him at the moment, and they do get the resurrect back in, but he's going to find himself the headshot on hip once again. Oh no, the reload tries to switch to the Blade Storm, not quick enough. Looker answers it himself with his own Blade Storm. And their little duel, it really doesn't net anything. They're going to back away, and Ziz is in position.
Don't mess it up. Don't mess it up. He doesn't mess it up. Ziz, he gets 2. Kree is still there. This is just back and forth the whole way. Now down to a 2v2. Omen on the TP towards C. Going to join up with his buddy. I'm pretty sure Fearoth's there on the other side. No, excuse me. It's Bonka. Creeping in with the frenzy. Do they know he's that close? I don't think they've got any idea. That's going to be a freebie. Oh my God, it's going to be a 1v2 again.
And it's going to be the wraparound. Aaron is coming. He's looking at Long, but I think Aaron he sensed it. Oh, I don't think he does. Aaron should see it. That should be the point, and it will be. Map goes to Bonka. And my word, what a close game. 13-10. Bonka will take the first map here. What a game we have on our hands in the semi-final.
That heated up. Honestly, I was worried this was just going to be kind of sloppy. It was going to be that no grip on the economy style game, but no. They were running that the whole way through. It was these perpetual, forcing in on the buys. Man, I am so amazed by how many clutches. I've never seen a game with so many post-plant clutches. I've never seen it. I've watched a lot of Valorant, and how do you feel about that? Have you seen anything like that before?
No, absolutely not. I mean, so many 3 and 4Ks coming out of just absolutely nothing. And when it's counted, and it's just, I mean, I don't know whether these teams have scrimmed each other a lot. I kind of get that feel that they kind of know each other very, very well. I mean, obviously there are our former teammates in there, so probably going to know each other's plays. But you just get that feel that these guys have probably scrimmed a lot together at this stage.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's that feeling of, when you get those like. So my mind goes to Counter-Strike. It's the easy example, but it's really present in other games. You'd have like maybe an underdog or a team that's not quite to the level of, let's say, a tier 1 CS team. Let's say like I don't know, NiP and Counter-Strike during the heyday. They'd run through everyone. They'd meet a random Swedish team, and they'd have like quite a close affair with them because they maybe played often. They had this kind of like not necessarily a rivalry, but super aware of it. Maybe in mixes, playing around each other. That felt like that. It felt like they knew a lot about each other. They were very much in this grudge match. A couple of mistakes here and there, certainly nerves on a high end too. This is an interesting one between these two. I honestly don't know which way this is going to go overall though, because. As said, how many of those were clutches, which are very hard to find repetition for?
A couple of weird rounds as well. Some very strange, peculiar rounds where people were in off positions, like someone was behind the lines, another one was behind the lines. It's like they were behind each other effectively, and ended up being a total reverse swap, I think, on the retake, where they were coming from the attacking half and they were defending from the attacking from the defensive half and roll reverse. There's some really bonkers rounds in there. So anyway, first map goes to Bonk. He's going to be loving that one, that's for sure. Bind is the next map. I'm going to be stepping out and letting HYPERX step in because it is getting hot and sweaty in the Valorant action. And we'll see you after the break.
AORUS Gaming